wild campers, and this afternoon you find me on my way up to a cairn in the Preselli Mountains, Preselli Hills, call them what you will, more hills than mountains, but yeah, so I shall turn you around and show you a bit of the vista, so bear with me. So that's where I've come from. And up there is where I'm headed. Right, welcome back. So, as you may have noticed on my setup, I'm out in a bit of a different tent tonight, so I thought I'd give you a little tour. So just bear with me while I spin the camera around, and I'll just tell you what it is and why I'm using it. So it is, for the eagle-eyed and the tent spotters amongst you, it is the Tarp Tent Notch. The not the light, the although it is light, just the standard seal poly version, I think. Or it might even be seal nylon, but it's kind of in between. It's not the light seal stuff that the Landshans are made of. It's a bit thicker, but similar sort of stuff. Yeah, so I picked it up for a bit of what I thought was a pretty good price. I was tempted because this is the smallest tent that I'll ever use. I'll never use anything smaller than this. The Landshans ones did kind of appeal to me in some respects, but they come up a bit high and they haven't got the dual vestibule that this one has. So I know you can drop them down a bit, and this one has a similar thing, but you can definitely drop this down because you've got the two poles, one here and one there. You can drop them down and drop these sides down, but with the I've seen some high wind tests with the Lanshan 1 and they can get caught a little bit. Not saying they're not good tents or anything, but also I think they're a bit too small for me in terms of headroom. I like this because it's got the width in the middle, which is where I want it. Yeah, it's just got that little bit more headroom in the middle. So this is my first, I've pitched it up in the garden, but this is my first trip out in it. It's as small as I'd ever want to go, but it is including pegs, and most people don't include in pegs. It's literally 1 kilogram, which is good. So probably the lightest setup that I've got. In fact, yeah, I mean the X-Mid 1 solid is a similar weight, but you need more pegs for that. You don't need so many pegs for this. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. I've watched some reviews on it. People seem to like it. I'll be interested. I'll give it a proper wind test in the winter, in the colder months, but we've got a bit of wind blowing at the minute. But these centre poles are properly solid. They're similar to the X-Mid when you similar sort of level. So, but yeah, the lightweight is enough. It's long enough for me as well. Yes, you're a bit restricted with room inside, but I can manage. I can manage with that room. And if you're just going to mostly be sleeping in it, because I'm thinking along the lines of Cape Wrath Trail. So I've got it down to 3 tents really. This one, the X-Mid 1P solid, and my other tarp tent, the Scarp, which is a little bit heavier, but a little bit more bomb-proof as well, I would say. So it's between these 3, but I'm quite liking this one. So we'll see how it goes. Give it a try in some varying conditions. See how I get on with it. I mean, when the weather's nice like this, it's any tent is quite easy. But it's when the wind's blowing and the rain's lashing that you find out. You know, whether you can cope in a smaller tent or in any tent for that matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut one side down. You can actually, by the way, you can actually open up the whole side on both sides. So if you're in glorious weather, you could just open this thing right up, which I quite like. But then the X-Mid, you can do that as well. So the other thing is, this has got it's got a thicker bathtub floor. That's definitely thicker than the X-Mid, so you don't need a ground sheet with this. It's very much like the same thing as the Scarp, and it's got a very deep bathtub floor as well. So I like that. I like those 2 features. So yes, it's a second-hand tent. I think it's had a few owners in the past, but it seems to be holding up well. It's been seam sealed. So that's good. You can vent the ends if you want. You thought that was the last of the wine, didn't you? How wrong can you be? Got this cheeky little bottle with me as well. Right, welcome back. I'll explain tonight's delicious recipe, and I'll show you the bits and pieces I've got. Bear with me. Right, where is it? Here we go. Right, so tonight, ingredient number 1, tuna. Ingredient number 2, home laid eggs from the girls. What else have we got? Cheese. Right, now in this bag, oh, chopped tomatoes. And in this bag, what we've got, I'll just go through it. We've got chopped coriander, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic, and basically, some chopped onion, and that's a lot. So basically what I need to do is mix the tuna and the eggs, add the chopped onion, add the grated cheese, mix it all together, put all this in, mix it all together, and basically cook it for 15 minutes, flip it over for 5 minutes, and at the end of it we should have some kind of omelette-y thing. So, right, I saw this being made on the internet in a foreign language, and they didn't even give it a name. So I'm gonna give it a name, and I'm gonna call it the Preselli pizza, because I'm up in the Preselli hills, and it's the first time I've ever attempted this, and although it's kind of omelette, I'm calling it the Preselli pizza. So let's just go with that. So this is the start of the latest episode of Delicious or Disaster. So right, the other thing I need to, I've got some olive oil to put in the pan as well. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get the tuna out. Right, this could go horribly wrong. Right, there we go. Got my larger bowl this time. Let's get the old tuna in there. Yeah, it smells okay. It's the sell by date. It came out of the cupboard. It's got no label on it, but the sell by date is current. So as you'll probably know, that cupboards are notorious for having things well past their sell by dates. Although within reason, I do take sell by dates with a pinch of salt, to be honest with you, because they do like to overdo things a little bit and get us to chuck out perfectly good food and buy new stuff. I mean, obviously, if it's looking a bit green and that, then I'm not going to be eating it. So, right. Well, that went easier than it did in the video that I watched. Right. Let's get the girls' eggs out. Right, let's get my favourite method for camping eggs, cracking them so I don't get shells all in my food. Now I've said that will probably happen, but right. Here we go. That's because these are quality eggs, you see. They don't disintegrate. Trust me, my missus, she looks after those chicken. I'd like to be looked after like those chicken are. She'll kill me if she sees this, but honestly, our chicken in their coop and everything, it's like centre parks for chicken. Now, one of the eggs look good. Gourmet rations they're on. She cooks up veg for them and you name it, crikey. Absolutely spoiled rotten they are. So I don't know how the quantities are going to work out, when my pan's going to be big enough. Let's hope so. Right, obviously, like all good chefs, I have a slug of wine. I should have say chefs. I wouldn't ever call myself good. Right. Add the 2 eggs. Add the chopped onion. Chopped tomato. Grated cheese. Right. Basically, it's all going in now. This is going to go one way or another. There's the cheese. I grated it all earlier on. Something I prepared earlier, as I used to say on Blue Peter, for those of you old enough to remember it. I probably should have broken that up before I put it in, but no, that's all right. The cheese going in. Right. Get the toms in there. These aren't homegrown. We have got homegrown tomatoes, but not these. The garlic is homegrown, which is, I was most impressed. My wife she has got green fingers, she's very good. These tomatoes could probably be a bit more finely chopped, but never mind. Right, so all that going in, and now we've got the homemade. Oh, the coriander's grown at home as well, by the way. So I chucked this all in the pepper, the flour, and all that earlier on. Oh, let's hopefully this will all mix up all right. I've got to say, if I'm being honest, this isn't looking like the most appetising dish I've ever cooked. Although that's a bit of a low bar, to be fair. Which probably makes it even worse. But look, I may just surprise everybody. I mean, I guess you could sit at home and say, "Thank God I'm not going to be tasting that." But who knows? I might come up with a winner here. It looks good when I saw the person doing it, Miguel or whoever it was. Makes me laugh because I'm getting all foreign. Start getting all foreign language stuff coming out of my to feed now. Don't know why. Don't speak a word of anything other than English. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous. All right, so now I've got to get the let's get this party started. Right, this is only supposed to hold 30 mil, but I've managed to get 40 mil in it. So we'll see how that goes. And because we're on the Preselli, and there's peat underneath here, I think, I'm not going to be using my Sharpie to fire up the cooker. So what I've got is I've got my lighter. When I'm not using that as a lighter, I use it as a MIG welder. Soto, who needs Soto? You know, this is Vive, top quality. Check that out. You can probably feel the heat from there. Right, let's get my olive oil. Get this pan going. I've got some I've got to chuck in some, what do you call it? What's the pepper stuff? I can't remember now. You know, the Canadian pepper stuff. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, spice it up a little bit. In fact, I'll probably just wallop that in now. Let's get that in there. Alright, that's gone in. Just give that a little wallop. I've probably overdone that. I've probably killed my taste buds. There you go, look at that, gorgeous. That's when Oliver went up and asked for more, that's what he was asking for. Right, let's get this pan going. Look at that. Safe as houses. Right, here we go. Let the fun begin. I hope this works because I'm hungry. I haven't got a lot else if it doesn't. So, got some foil for the lid because I haven't actually got a top for this pan. So yeah, getting a bit messy here now, getting a bit disorganised. Right, let's have a tidy up. Just a bit of coriander there, gutted. Never mind. Can be in the rubbish bag. Right. That's where the fun begins. Now, what I'm supposed to do is pour this in and shape it like an omelette. I mean, it looked lovely on the video I watched. But presentation probably isn't my strong point, but let's see what I can, let's see how we can get this going. Oh, look at that, it's shaping up nicely. Looking a bit more lumpy than the one I saw on the, but let's see. See how we go. It's all right, it's not too bad. Right, let's get some foil on there. Right, here's the dilemma, which side? Which side does the foil go? Don't suppose it really matters, does it? That side. There we go, look at that, like Patrick Swayze in Ghost. There we go. The joys of wild camping and cooking. I've got to say, there's loads of sheep crap around me, and there's plenty of sheep, but it's so dry that it doesn't really matter. So you can just kick it all out of the way. But in the winter, I can tell you, I probably won't be up here in the winter because it gets brutal up here. I might do a bit of hiking through it, but I doubt I'll be camping up here. Well, maybe if I want to really challenge myself, but it gets grim. It gets grim up here. Right, we're back in the room, and you missed it. I didn't manage to get it on camera, but I flipped it into the plate. There you go. And I've just got to check it now. Tell you what, I reckon that's done. So let's give it the old taste test. Because if it's not done, I can always sling it back on if I don't take it out of the pan. So, standby coolers. Here we go. Preselli Pizza Mark 1. God, I tell you what, that is nice. It's got a bit of a kick to it as well. It was Tabasco. That was the word I was looking for. If you were shouting Tabasco at the camera, you were right. That's what it was. But yeah, I slung a bit of Tabasco in. Oh, that's nice, that is. You taste the coriander, taste the tuna. That is nice. I said to Mrs. Solo, I said, because she was watching me prepare it all, I said, if it works out, I'll do this at home. She's like, oh yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll make this at home. That is nice. Champion. The Preselli pizza is a success. No doubt about it. Look, it's not overdone. I did, yeah. What I did, which I didn't get on camera, which I should have done, is I basically got this plate, I put it over the top, and I flipped it in the plate, and then slid it back into the pan, and yeah, I got the timing about right, I think. Yeah, I've got no complaints about this at all. It's very, very nice, I've got to say. Different, but it is, yeah, tasty. Right, well, I'm not gonna subject you to me polishing this off. I don't like it when other YouTubers are like stuffing their faces and like talking with their mouth full and all the rest of it. It's not great for me, so I'm not going to subject you to that. So I'm going to polish this off and I'll bring you back. All right, good evening. Just adjust the lighting here. It's a little bit better. See if it stays there. Right, yeah, I was going to do fireside chat, but do you know what? I've been feeling in quite a frivolous mood today, and the topic I was going to do is going to be quite a serious topic. And the excitement of the Preselli pizza has kind of exhausted me. I actually had a shocking night's sleep last night. I don't know why, but so I'm not going to do a fireside chat tonight. And one of the other reasons is you can probably detect the camera's rocking slightly because I forgot a piece of kit again. So I'm still trying to get my admin sorted when it comes to cameras and things. So I forgot the head that attaches to the tripod, so I've got the camera set up a bit precariously and it's sort of wobbling about a bit and it's not great. And so yeah, so I'm not going to do a fireside chat tonight. I'm feeling a bit Kerry Packard, and yeah, so I won't get into anything serious tonight, you'll be pleased to know. But I just want to say, actually, so I'll just keep it to gear for this one. Now that I've spent an evening and cooked in the tent and everything, I am really liking this tent. I'll show you properly in the morning what it's like from the inside. I mean, you can see, you know, so I've got plenty of room here and I'm leaning back a bit, mainly because of the camera. I could probably shuffle forward a bit. And yeah, I haven't put my bed up yet, but I know I can do it in this space. I've got an electric pump. And even if I couldn't, I could manage, because I can manage in the X-Dome, not X-Dome, X-Mid, in a similar sort of space. Maybe it's a bit narrow on the ends on this one, but I can manage it. I'll just pack my chair down and pump my bed up, and yeah, I've got enough room in here. So, but yeah, it's got these little triangle pockets, which I'll show them more, which people moan about, but they're all right. They do, they do a bit of a job. It's no big deal. I like the fact it's got a solid side sort of. You see the white here. You've got solid up to sort of, covering you when you're sleeping and that. So yeah, I am actually really liking this. I don't know what it is. I think with a smaller tent, it's easier to stay organised. You wouldn't believe that you could lose stuff in a tent, even a one-man tent, but in my experience, it's definitely possible. And this tent, because I can reach out the doors either side and all the rest of it, I find it's quite easy to keep everything in arm's length and be organised. So I don't know, maybe that's got something to do with it. And also I find once you've got your mat blown up and you're in this sort of enclosed space, because the walls are quite close to you, you can't really slide about. In a bigger tent, if you're on a bit of a camber or a bit of a slope, you can find your mat sliding about, but in these, like in the X-Mid and in this, you can't really do that. Your mat isn't going to slide about because it hasn't got room to slide about, so that actually is a bit of a positive. But you do have to be a bit careful on sighting the tent. But yeah, I didn't find it. This tent is not difficult to pitch or put up. It's probably one of the easiest I've got. So so yeah, those are just my initial thoughts. The Tarp Tent Notch. That's it. I know it's a very odd name, but yeah, I'm liking this tent. Of course, if I have a 4 out of 10 night tonight, I might have a different opinion in the morning. But I have kicked out on this before in my garden just to see if it worked. So I do know what it's like to sleep in it. But yeah, so there's just some thoughts on the thing. So no real fireside chat. I need to be in the right frame of mind for those, and I think all the excitement around the Preselli pizza has just burnt me out now. I've had my cup of tea and I'm ready for me just to chill out and go to sleep now. So yeah, that's it for today. Pretty simple. I'm going to just settle down, and I'll bring you back in the morning. Good morning. So, what sort of night did I have last night? A bit of a mixed bag, I guess I could say. Couldn't seem to get comfortable. I think because I ate late. I never do well when I eat late, but it's a fair trek to get here. Then I had to find a pitch. So yeah, I left things a bit late for me, but it was okay. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I had a bit of a lay-in. Woke up sort of around. Fell asleep. Woke up around 5:30. Then went back to sleep on and off. So I've had better. I've had worse. Today you'll have noticed I'm using my Orikaso mug, which may look a bit odd, but actually is a very useful thing for multi-day hikes, because apart from the fact that it folds flat so you can tuck it down the back of your pack, no problem, it's got measuring marks on it which you can actually see from both sides. So if you're taking boiling the bag meals, or if you're using Huel and you want to measure stuff out, this is a quite a handy little feature, underappreciated little feature, I would say. So so yes, I quite like this little mug. Certainly better than those minging Cedar Summit rubber things. As I say, when I've critiqued that in the before, maybe it's just me, but they just taste disgusting, those things. Yeah, I can just taste this horrible rubber thing, all the time. Oh, a bit of insect life crept into my tea there. I'll have to send him on vacation, Spider. I think he's had it. Still, a bit of extra protein in my tea, I guess. That's camping for you. Not going to get excited about that. If it was a fly, it might be a bit different, but quite like spiders. Not in a Bezzy mate kind of way, but they keep the pests down. Right, so that's my tea done, so I'm just going to enjoy my brew. There's one other thing I'd like to say about this Orikaso stuff. To clean this and the plates and that, all you have to do literally is round here you've got loads of lush grass and that. You just wipe them on the grass. And with this, I just wiped it on the grass, had a bit of tea in it, and it was literally dry in seconds. And then you just fold it flat and it slides down where I put my Camelback water carrier. It just slides down with that and actually protects my water carrier from the stuff inside. So I've got this and the plate and the bowl. I test this, but I think they're designed to cope with heat. You could put, if I had to cook in my tent, and I have got to test this, so I just got to say this, but I know these are designed to something like 600 degrees heat. If I had to cook in my tent, for instance, if I was in Midgie, Scotland, and I just had to shut the tent down, but I wanted a brew or whatever, and I got my alcohol burner with the felt insert, I reckon I could cook it on here, on this, or I could light it on here, have my cooker on top, using yeah, that would work. Yeah, or maybe using one of my other plates. And I could use this as a base, or the plate. The plate would probably be better than this cup because this tends to pop in, maybe like that. But either way, I could use one of them to just protect my mat, cook what I needed to cook in there, and I'll do an experiment. I won't do it in my tent. What I'll do is I'll do a test, because I've got a few of these now, and I've just ordered a double set because I just think they're so good that I'll keep spares, and me and the wife go to the odd festival, so it's handy. This is great stuff for plates and cups and bowls, and that's so light. So what I'll do is I'll try it, maybe sacrifice a plate, and I'll let you know if it all melts. If this starts to melt into a horrible mess, I'll let you know as well. I won't hide that. So yeah, but just some thoughts on these. They yeah, nobody else uses them, but those are Sea to Summit pop-up things. Apart from the horrible rubber taste, they've got to be heavier than these, you know. And these are, you can buy, at the moment you can buy two sets of these. That's 2 bowls, 2 plates, 2 cups, for like, with postage, it's about £6. So you can't really go wrong, can you? So if it's something you're interested in, I would get on eBay Sharpish, because there's clearly some kind of Del Boy character on there knocking them out. And apologies if he's I very much doubt he's watching this, but apologies if he is and he's insulted by that. But you know what I mean, some kind of trader who's knocking these out, and once they're gone, they're gone. I don't think they'll be making any more, so, which is a shame really, because I do actually think this is a really good wild camping and multi-day hike product. Right, so I had a think, and I thought, I got all my gear here, although I'd packed some of it away, I thought, what the hell, let's do that test now. So, you can see here, I've got my plate. I'm using my plate because it's nice and flat. I'm also testing to see if I can get a boil of 300ml out of 10ml of fuel in this burner, because I think I might be able to do that. So anyway, so I've got my plate here, got the cooker on top, I've got my fire extinguisher. So I'll just clip that a bit on the top. I've just filled this to 300ml. You can see that, 300ml of water, which is a generous amount, more than enough for a brew, for me anyway. Oops, bit handle catastrophe there. Handle's in, water's in. Alright, I'm not actually going to make a brew. Let's just unpack that now, so you can see what I mean. So I can just let that dry out now. Just let that dry out over there. Right, flamethrower. Let's get this party started. There we go. Flame on. Let's see. Let's put this to the test. See if we can. See if we're going to get a horrible melted mess and my cook set's going to be ruined. Or are we going to get proof of concept here for a very handy feature in a small tent where you can, using the right equipment, you can, if the weather's absolutely foul, you want to just do a little bit of cooking in here. Or if you're having monster midge issues, is this little setup going to work? I'll just check, see if there's any. So far so good. I guess what'll happen is the heat shield will sink, cut through it and form a perfect circle possibly. Or maybe I'll just get smoke, but let's see. I'm going to know one way or another. And the thing is, I've got a spare plate. If this don't, you know, if this goes horribly wrong, which is definitely a possibility. No smoke so far. So I'll bring you back in a minute. No, in fact, I'm just going to leave the camera rolling because I know what'll happen is if it starts going horribly wrong, I'll be too busy putting it out and you'll miss all the fun. So, and I would hate for that to happen. Go on, Bee. Go off. Is there a little bit of warpage happening at the bottom there? I think there might be, so I think this may be, that might happen. The plastic may warp. Of course, if this goes really horribly, disastrously wrong, you'll never see it. I can tell that for nothing. If it's really, but if it's a minor disaster, I'll show it. But if I'm, you know, casevac'd off the hill and there's a raging fire and my tent's melted, yeah, you're probably not going to see that. So I could have done this at home, but my missus, she's like, you creeping around again? What are you up to now? That stuff stinks. I get all that, you know, take it outside, you know. Well, actually, she's pretty reasonable, but yeah, I'll get all the usual comments, you know. What are you up to now? So I'm sure I'm not the only husband who's heard those words. So bless her, she's pretty good. I think she just chuckles at my boil testing and other bits and pieces that all us wild campers get up to in the quest for wild camping perfection. I do hope this can boil 300 ml of water in with 300 millilitres of water with 10 ml of fuel, because that works really well, because I'm seriously thinking about taking this on the Cape Wrath Trail rather than gas. So I just prefer it. It's stable on all, you know, and all this. You don't have to worry about balancing a canister or any of that. You can do it on a camber, and it's got perfect wind protection. If I can get a 300 ml boil with 10 ml of fuel, I'll be well happy, because that means I can probably carry, for the first 8 days, I can probably get away with about 500 ml of fuel. In fact, I'm sure I can. Which obviously lightens my load. I was thinking I might need up to a kilogram, and then it's like, well, should I take gas instead? but a 10mm boil, that's the ultimate. Because if you use these alcohol burners with fuel just in without the felt, they're 15-20 20mm boils, which doubles your fuel usage. See how technical it all gets. People just don't understand. We're like rocket scientists. Nearly there. Let's get it to a rolling boil. Yeah, got the rolling boil going there. Right, let's see what the damage is. Well, boys and girls, I think we have success. Actually, I thought there was a ring there, but it's actually the Orikaso mark. But that is fine. Right, so that's fine. There we go. So plate's fine, there's no holes, no nothing, no damage. So that's this stuff. You could definitely, I mean, you could actually just put it on there like that. So, but it works fine. So I'm really pleased about that. That's made this even more flexible. And I've also discovered that I can get a 10mm boil with 300mm with this. Well, certainly in warmer weather anyway. And I reckon because of the way it works, you'd probably be all right. I mean, if you're in negative temperatures, yeah, it's a bit different. But I think in the normal operating environment in the UK climate, 10mm is definitely doable. So I've dropped the trekking poles down to 105, and I could probably go a little bit lower, but that's sitting nice and pretty tight to the ground now. I've just got to check inside, but apart from just tidying up this corner here, the ground's slightly uneven now, I think. On the whole, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that actually. It's very uneven, the ground here, so you're never going to get it completely flat, but it's much better in a storm config mode. So I'll just stop it here and I'll show you what it's like inside. Right, so there's my chair sitting in there. I'll sit in that in a minute and show you. But that doesn't look too bad to me. Once I'm lying on it, I'll have to lie on it and check. But I think we've got enough room, no problem. So let's just see how it looks when I sit in the chair. Right, as you can see, I'm sitting on my chair now. I've still got headroom. All right, it's touching my back a little bit, but this is like storm mode. This is a mode that when the weather's really foul and you just want to batten down the hatches. So I'm quite happy with that. And I think worst case scenario, if I really had to, I could probably drop another 5 centimetres, bring it down to 100. You know, an absolute disaster scenario with this tent, you can go into burrito mode, so you could just drop the trekking poles and just zip everything up and just like try and weather it out. If you're in like 60-70 mile an hour winds and the tent's folding, that's what you'd have to do. And I think you'd be all right in this actually, because you would just drop the trekking poles to the lay them flat, and you just tuck yourself in, and you know, sleeping's not going to be an option in those circumstances. So you would just, you know, make the best of it to get through the night. Right, that's me done. That's another enjoyable wild camp. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, like and subscribe. If you didn't, have a great life. I'm now just going to trundle back to my car. Don't forget to get out there, get camping. I didn't do any grounding this time, but it was a bit blowy outside, so that's the way it goes. But yeah, get your feet grounding. Get out in the open, in the fresh air. Find a spot. There's always somewhere, and get some wild camping done. But that's it from me, Tony, Land Solo. God bless to everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.